Alright, yo, what's going on, guys? Arekkz here. Welcome back to another Division video. Something a little bit different today. A post came up on Reddit overnight called Arekkz Gaming Busted. And I thought I'd talk about it because, of course, as is often the case with these sort of things, if you only hear one side of the story, then of course things can, amplify and whatnot. And I figured I would tell you guys my side. The premise of the post is effectively, I recently did a podcast with SkillUp, Datto, my name is Blythe, Mtashed, and we basically spoke about state of the game as it currently stands, and during that I made a statement about, my stance on exploiters, and someone then called me out on Reddit and was like, well, if you said this about exploiters, why are you in Willis Gaming's video when he is exploiting the incursion? And as you guys know, of course, I've done the incursion legitimately. We were still one of the first teams to do challenge mode. Admittedly, it took us a little bit over the first day, but we still did it. I put up a guide for that. But yes, I am in Willis's video, so I figured I would explain it to you guys. It's going to be a little bit of a longer video, because I've actually got 269 here with me, who you guys should know runs the channel with me, plays Division a lot of the time, so what's up, man?
What's up, man? Alex got busted, so I'm here to get him more busted. No joking.
No, basically we just thought we'd chat together, because I thought it'd be a lot easier that way, so hopefully you guys will stick around to the end of the video, because I want to kind of give you guys my opinion on it, explain the whole story, explain why I was there, and all that good stuff, so hopefully you guys will kind of give me the time to explain that. So yeah, let's get started.
So I'm going to look through the thread and kind of ask questions from there about people that people have been asking and putting up like points. Some of them I agree with, some of them I don't agree with, but yeah, let's go through and I'll try to be as impartial as possible.
Okay, and just before you get started, I will link the Reddit post down below. I'll also link our complete genuine challenge mode incursion run down below and my walkthrough as well, so you guys can of course see all that stuff. But yes, let's get started.
So the first post is essentially like the main body of the post asking, like, have you exploited? They're showing a video of you exploiting. Like, have you used exploits? What's going on?
Okay, so yeah, so basically what happened is I am in Willis Gaming's video. Willis and I produce drastically different content. As you guys know, if you've been around the channel for a while, I produce guides, I produce walkthroughs, I produce basically anything that can help people out because it's what I enjoy doing, right? I enjoy The Division. It's a game that I am a massive fan of. I haven't had this much fun in a game in a very long time, so I just enjoy helping people out where possible. And as you guys know, I never have posted any glitches or any exploits on the channel, haven't done anything like that. But yes, I was in Willis's video, yes, when he first exploited the incursion. The reason for that is because we play as a team, right? Willis was there to help me out when I needed to record when we needed to complete challenge mode, when we did the legitimate clear, but at the same time, Willis will also post glitches and exploits on his channel. That's completely fine, that's what he does, that's cool. It's obviously different to what we do, but yes, I was in his video, he needed someone in his team to help him out record and whatnot, so I was there. The difference is, however, I didn't farm the exploit, right? I was in a video, yes, we blew up the tank with a sticky bomb, but I didn't then go on to repeat that farm, 10, 20, 30 times to gear up, right? We have legitimately completed the incursion. I was in Willis's exploit, but that is basically the extent of it, right? I haven't then farmed exploits and all that kind of stuff like that, so no, effectively.
Yeah, so on, when was it? The Saturday. So we didn't complete, when it actually came out, the incursion, I can't remember which day it was.
Came out on Tuesday.
Tuesday, so we were super salty that we hadn't completed it on day one, and we knew that the exploit was out there and everything, and we weren't gonna do the exploit until we actually completed it legitimately anyway, because what's the point of doing something that that you haven't been able to do, just as a gamer, just knowing that you haven't been able to do legitimately anyway. Once we did clear it, we thought it was slightly a bit cheap in terms of the mechanics that they employed, because the way that it had been marketed, like, to be honest, that it was going to be like, you're going to have to use some super sick strategies, there's going to be new gameplay mechanics, but what it actually boiled down to was shotgun rushes and pressing buttons, and press X on the back of a tank to blow it up, and then a couple of waves in one room. So after that, after a day of playing, we're feeling a bit kind of like, this is a bit cheap, let's just do this exploit and help out Willis. So that's why we did it kind of really the first time.
Exactly. But again, it's important to realize that we did it. The intention there was, Willis was like, hey guys, I need to record a video, can you help me out? And that's basically, where it stemmed from. But as 26 said, like, as someone that is a massive fan of the game, what is the point in me being able to kind of bring you guides if I can't complete, like, the hardest content in the game? So if you also look at the date stamps, you'll see that our legitimate challenge mode incursion happened on the 13th of April, and Willis's video, the exploit one, went up on the 14th of April. So again, we completed it legitimately, and then we helped Willis with the video. But yeah, just personally for me, like, even when I do like Destiny content, even like the hard mode raids, like, you have to be I like knowing that I can complete it, right? So the fact that now that everything's been patched, you know, I can just go back and be like, yep, it's cool. You know, I'm still good because I can go through and farm legitimately and whatnot. Whereas obviously people that have only done the exploit will of course have to then, you know, relearn the mechanics.
Like the actual exploit itself is horrible to do anyway. Like it is so boring. You're literally sitting there running back and forth for like half an hour just pressing LB or what LB and RB shooting at a tank. It is boring and sucks the fun out of the
And
game.
when you also consider that our legitimate challenge mode incursion took us 50 minutes and the blowing up a tank takes you 35, 40 minutes, so yeah, it doesn't really save you much time. But regardless, I'm not
a legitimate time to be around the same time as the exploit anyway. It's just it'll be
exactly
a lot more. There's a lot more chance to fail when you did it like legitimately anyway. But
precisely, yeah. But again, I mean, just to kind of like reiterate, just so sort of not kind of dilute the point. Yes. So to anyone that's seen my name in Willis's video, because you know I wasn't. The important thing also to get out there is that I wasn't hiding anything, right? I could have said to Willis, can you not upload the video, or can you find someone else, or can you blur my name out? I didn't do any of that. I was like, you know what, it's cool. I helped you out. I'll be in the video. I'm clearly visible. I wasn't trying to hide anything. Yeah, I didn't go out of my way to like go on Twitter and say, hey, you know, I've just finished exploiting with Willis, because you know, again, that wasn't the purpose, right? We were there to help him out. We were there to help him record a video. I was in there, but then the rest of our stuff has been done legitimately. So just want to make sure that is super clear with you guys, because again, you know, I don't want to kind of like say one thing on the channel and do another. It's not like, you know, do as I say and not as I do, because that's not what I want to try and, you know, push. Like I cover stuff legitimately because it's how I play the games, right? What you see me do in my videos is what I do in the game.
So yeah, me playing devil advocate now. So if you're going to say that, then why in SkillUp's video did you say, I don't mind farming if it's through legitimate means? Long pause for some reason. Yeah. If it suddenly turns into an exploit where there's something that you shouldn't actively be doing, that's when I draw the line. What is that about? What are you trying to say?
Okay, so firstly, the long pause was because I've been ill this week, so I was actually coughing on the mic, so I had to mute that. But yeah, okay, I admit that yeah, the way that I phrased that probably could have been phrased better. Often, as often the way in the podcast, you know, when you're trying to like free flow and think of things off the top of your head, you don't necessarily always think like cohesively about what your sentences mean. What I basically mean by that is that if you look at the state of the game and you see all like the exploits that have happened, things like Bullet King, Hutch, Hornet, all those things like that, right? You know, they are kind of, if you look at any kind of game, it's human nature to try and do things the easiest way possible, right? Like if someone said to you, you can get £1 million for jumping on the spot 10 times, or you can get £1 million for running a marathon, I'm pretty sure everyone would jump on the spot 10 times. Okay, it's a little bit of a weird abstract explanation, but the point is, things like Bullet King is stuff we've seen like in games before. In Destiny, you can open a chest, you can run out the area, you can run back, or at least you used to be able to, and you can then reopen that same chest before it despawns. You know, that's effectively like running out, killing Bullet King, running back in and killing him again. So things like that I don't really care about, because for the most part what you can get from them is somewhat limited. Yes, okay, you could argue that you could get lots and lots of crafting materials, you can go and craft the best weapons in the game, but again, I mean, there's only certain things you'll be crafting, so regardless, if like that's not going to have a massive impact. The reason I kind of like somewhat draw the line on the incursion is because I like to complete all my content legitimately, as I did do. You know, like, I think I draw the line because I appreciate the incursion was super difficult, and it was super difficult for perhaps the wrong reasons. You know, it was like the shotgun rushes and the grenades were, you know, nigh impossible at times, so I can see why people would do it. But the reason I draw the line is because if people go out there and just do nothing but the incursion glitch, and then suddenly it gets patched, then of course people then have like no ability to complete that content. So that's kind of what I meant by that, because we complete it legitimately, and then of course then we help Willis make the video.
Yeah. So one of the next points is like someone just said, you're full of crap, you're just basically lying all of the time, and that you're a Microsoft, not Microsoft, massive shill, and Ubisoft is basically paying you to get everything done.
Well, that's definitely not true. I mean, like, whether or not people decide to believe that, I'm not paid by Ubisoft. Ubisoft don't put money in my pocket and say, hey, cover Division. Believe it or not, I cover Division because I actually like the game. Like, prior to going full-time YouTube, I worked at Microsoft as a game tester, then as a producer, and it was my job, well, as a game tester, it was my job to break games. So then when I, like, on a day-to-day basis, it was effectively negative feedback 24/7, right? It's like, this is broken, this needs fixing, this is broken, this needs fixing. So when I did, like, YouTube stuff, it was my intention to just do stuff that I enjoy, right? So that's why I don't necessarily talk about, like, people often say, why do you never talk about negative things? Why do you never say bad things about the company? Why do you never say things like that? It's like not because I'm worried that they will stop talking to me, not because I'm worried I'll tarnish some kind of relationship. It's just because I like talking about things I enjoy. Like, I don't know why people would necessarily want me to put up a video where I'm complaining versus putting up a video where I'm like, hey guys, I'm going to give you a useful tip. Generally speaking, if there's something that I don't enjoy, I just don't play it. Like, I wouldn't cover a game that I don't enjoy and talk about it in an angry way. I just wouldn't play that game. So, no, I'm definitely not paid by Ubisoft, and no, everything I have said hasn't been a lie. If you look at all my walkthroughs, all my stuff is factually accurate, legitimately, legitimate content and everything like that. So there haven't been any videos. I mean, if you can point me to a video where I actively put something up that's a lie, then by all means tell me. But I mean, on the channel, everything we upload, walkthroughs, guides, tips, everything is, sure, if something gets patched and I have to update it, that's one thing. But everything is factually accurate, and I think that's what people respect on the channel, right? People know that if they can come here for information, they can come here for constant stuff. I mean, if you wanted like constant complaints, then, you know, go to places where they do reviews and stuff, or where they kind of like, you know, objectively look at games for what's right and what's wrong. If you want to know how to get better at the game, if you want to know how to find things, how to do things, what weapon's the best, you come to us.
Yes, and I highly agree with that. So the next question is, do you feel like the issues are on the developers to fix, or not the developers to fix? Is it the developers' fault, or is it the players' fault, or the exploiters' fault? Why do you feel like this is like a symptom of like the game at the moment?
I feel like both parties are somewhat responsible, right? The root of the issue obviously comes from the developers, because if they have found the issues and they made content that couldn't be exploited, obviously there would be no exploits to do, right? So the root of the problem comes there. The wider issue, of course, comes through social media spreading, right? Which is precisely why I don't produce content on glitches and exploits, right? Because if I do, then it creates awareness. So if you think about before YouTube was a thing, you know, like if you cast your mind back plenty of years ago to when there'll be games where, you know, I mean, look at when they used, like, magazines used to sell those little kind of cheat guide books and whatnot. But if there was like, if you were playing like the old GoldenEye and you found like a way to glitch through a wall, you just like, you tell your friends, but there's no real way to spread it, right? But nowadays, because everything is online, there's like, it's super easy for someone to upload a video. I mean, consoles have inbuilt capture cards. If someone finds something, it's online in a matter of minutes. So in that respect, I think both parties are to blame, right? Of course, if the developers made it and they fixed it straight away, then of course, or it wasn't in there in the first place, then this wouldn't be an issue to start with. But beyond that, of course, yeah, to a certain extent, people that then produce content on this and raise awareness to it are somewhat to blame as well, because it then means that the masses are aware. So I feel like, yeah, both parties are somewhat responsible.
Yeah, I definitely think, like, as someone that's worked in tests, like, what happened to the shield, man? Like, all these exploits derive from this, like, one mobile shield cover. They could have disabled that and known that people were going to find this wall breach. Or at least, while they were testing, they could have done some testing around just wall breaching with the shield, and maybe put an extra wall where that was going to be, or something else, just to block players from actually doing it at that point. But
yeah,
you've seen time and again, they fixed this exploit just for it to, like, rear its head again. So they've stopped you being able to shoot guns at it. Then you are able to shoot sticky bombs. Then you are able to get the NPCs to actually shoot it itself. Like,
yeah,
come on. Like, all of that should have been fixed in one patch by just turning off weapon damage for all of those things to the APC, or in total, except for, like, the bomb.
Yeah, exactly.
But
I think also something else that's important to note as well, like when speaking about this, it also kind of stems off another question that's in that Reddit post. Is so someone that says, you never talk about these things, you never report them, and all that kind of stuff like that. And I think the important thing this also links together is because I don't publicly talk about exploits does not mean I don't do any kind of reporting. Like, I have a direct line. Effectively, I can speak to the dev team. You know, I speak to them on a regular basis. I know the community team, and if I have an issue or if there's something that I've come across, I can take it directly to them, which is the way that it should be done, right? I mean, as someone that used to work in test, I know that the way you get things fixed is by taking them to the right channels, right? You don't get them fixed by, you know, spreading awareness to millions of people. You get them fixed by taking them to the places where it will be fixed. Either the Ubisoft, if it's general public, Ubisoft forums, because of course that's where they actively look. To a certain extent, Reddit as well, but beyond that, you know, of course, if I have a means to go to the dev team, or if I have a means to go to someone at Massive directly and say, right, there's a new issue, there's something like that, then I can take it directly to them. That's why you won't see me publicly say, I found an exploit, here it is, and all that kind of stuff like that, because I don't need to, you know, create awareness of it. I can just direct it to the right channel.
Yeah, even from the initial beta, we actually sent videos to the devs saying these are stuff that needs to be fixed, these are bugs and issues. But obviously, we're not going to telegraph that, because it doesn't need to be telegraphed that we're sending stuff to the devs. It's not like every time that we walk in, Alex is going to go on Twitter and be like, "Oh, here, I'm doing an exploit now, guys. Prepare yourself." It doesn't make sense. You're just basically bringing more attention to that actually happening. So yeah, that's why we run that way.
Alright, so that is pretty much it for this video. So that is most of the key questions in the Reddit post answered, or kind of like the key points that people spoke about. So hopefully you guys have got a better understanding now. I appreciate that some of you guys might be angered by this, some of you guys might unsubscribe, and that's fair enough. But hopefully those of you guys that know me, those of you guys that know the channel, those of you guys that enjoy the content will realise that this is the other side of the story that you might not have necessarily got from the Reddit post, and realise that actually, yeah, we've been doing stuff legitimately and that nothing's going to change on the channel, you know? All the content we produce is still legitimate. All the stuff that I have done and will do will continue to be that way, so nothing's going to change. But I just wanted you guys to know that is why you'll see me in Willis's video. It does not mean to say I've gone through an exploit farm, because I haven't. So yeah, that's the long and short of it. Hopefully you guys are cool with that. Hopefully you guys stuck around to the end of the video. I appreciate you guys giving me the time. Hopefully you guys give me the benefit of the doubt as well. If you do, then massively appreciate that. And also massive shout out to you guys recently as well for the milestone, but I'll speak about that another time. Either way, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.